All right. Good evening, people. Welcome to another podcast. Today is Monday, June 15, 2026. We are Film Podcasts going live with a new guest tonight. So let's get our intro started and then we'll get everything going. So give me a second here. We got Chris and Bill in the chats. Let me know if the audio and visual is good so we can kick this thing off. Amanda Scott, what is up? Welcome to the show. All right, so I'm gonna get the intro started and then we'll get this bad boy going, right? So 1 second here. All right. As we get our show started, we do want to give a shout out to our sponsors of the week. This week's sponsors of the weeks are EPD and Tint. We appreciate the partnership and the support. You guys make a lot of things possible for this group and a lot of things for the people that are participating in this group. So want to give them a shout out and thank you for their support. Now, moving on, let's get our chats on and let's see who's here. We got Bill, we got Thomas Kang, and then let me bring on my co host, Mr. Ryan SSN. Welcome.
What's up?
You see the famous forehead of Mr. Ryan Wilcox.
Because the video never it changes when you change the things, So what I see on my end is usually completely different than what pops up on the screen, I guess.
Got you. Well, welcome. Let's get this started. Let's bring on our guest of honor tonight. Welcome, bro.
What's up? How are y'all?
Good. Christian, how you doing today?
Tired, I could say. It's a Monday, running a business the first time I've done it. Every Monday are not my favorite days.
Mondays are the favorite day for every business owner, man. Right. Come on. You gotta turn that around. Like, don't look at it like that. You gotta turn like, hey, it's the best day. It's the day that's gonna set the whole week.
It is. It does set the week for us.
That's what's up. So where are you coming from? And for a little intro for the people that do not know you, let's get a little background on who you are.
All right. So my name is Cristian Rosa. I am now the owner of Cali Customs. I got into the window tinting game back in 2021. I lied my way into the industry. I got hired because my boss at the time asked me if I knew how to tint windows. Per usual, anybody says I learned it from YouTube. Got hired, got paid to learn, and then I worked at 4 shops in total. And then the place where I really up my skills, like in the window tinting, not the business side, but like the actual tinting part, was the second job I was at. He was a one-man shop, old school guy. He knew all the tricks in the book, like he knew it all. But then I come in with the new generation tricks and tools and plotters and this and that. So it was kind of like a mix between them. And then when was it? 2024 for WFCT. I was 3 years into window tinting and then made it into the finalists.
Wow, you made it to the finalists.
Yes.
WFCT. Top 10?
Huh?
Top 10?
Yeah, top 10. Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive, bro. In 3 years?
I know, and that was the first time I was competing too.
Wow, that is impressive. Have you gone back to WFCT after that or any other competition?
I haven't been able to. Well, I did the one in Chattanooga, but then Afterwards, I haven't had the time to just because work has been killing me right now.
Okay, awesome. Well,
So kept it up from WSCT. I mean, I just did what I normally did. Tended what I would tend at the shop, tended there. I remember I was nervous because I was the one with like the less tools. I didn't have a backpack. I didn't have nothing. I got my bottle, my squeegee, my blade. I went tint. I mean, and I did what I had to do. I didn't even expect to make it finalist. I just tinted a window. And it was when I had gone up to my window the first time, I thought I got disqualified because I didn't see a mark on my window. I was like, did they miss my car or anything? Like, what's going on? And if I'm not mistaken, from what I remember, like that first round, I got the highest score. If I'm not mistaken, I just got to throw it out there. I remember we were all like kind of checking scores to see like weeks after. That's what I kind of realized. And then went back to work, and literally after WFCT, I was out in a whole week tinting tractors and everything. I was like, well, tinted windows at WFCT, wanted to go tint tractors, kept working, and then at WFCT, I wasn't a business owner yet, but I wore my Cali Customs T-shirt. I got sponsored by Audubon though. I went for the actual competition. I wore my first round of my logo, like what it used to be, at WFCT. Like I manifested it, and then 2 years later, I opened the February 7th
of
of
this year.
this year, February 7th of this year.
Well, congratulations, man. So you manifested Cali Customs 2 years prior to opening it.
Yes, I did.
Could tell us a little bit about that, man? Like that's interesting. How did you like what was going in your mindset? How did you manifest that?
So, I mean, as a window tinner, um, I was making, I had a job like salary, but I started subbing out for a lot of shops. Like I was a subcontractor. I would leave work and then go straight to work, like at another shop, stay at night. And then I had my own like little side gig. So I was pocketing like 10, 15, 20K a month just by tinting windows. Like that, and that was just me subbing it. Soon I realized, okay, like let me start getting serious because I got to a point where I was tired of working for my money. And I was like, you know what, like I need to start enjoying like, a little enjoying my life like as if I've been, born for so many years. But Cali Custom came into play, and I came in, it was October of last year, but I was at the last shop I was at. I was always very honest. I told them where I was at in this every step of the way, if I was going to leave, when I was going to leave, how things were rolling, because the last thing I wanted to do was damage my name saying, hey, peace out of nowhere. I like to keep my reputation up pretty high, especially around the area. um and I reserved my unit. Right now I'm in a little business park. So I reserved the first unit, and it's like it has a roll up glass door. It was the most expensive one. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the risk. If I'm gonna go in, I might as well go all in. And it was me and one guy. I was like, okay, let me start it off with this. But what but like 3 months, like those 3 months when I was prepping for everything, I was strategizing. I was putting everything down. I was building my spreadsheets. I was, how much am I going to spend? How much am I going to spend here? What's my return on investment into getting this? Return on investment into getting that? What films am I going to use? What am I not going to use? So it was a lot of like trying to manage before I actually opened, because I didn't just want to throw myself without me knowing. So my initial investment was just $50,000. That's all I invested. It was 50K, and I threw it all in into my plotter, into everything. But now I use Max Pro, so it's like I even wear the brand beside me. So I use Max Pro, and then Amanda, she sold me on it. Amanda sold me on it because I was like, let me see what films I'm going to use. Like I was trying to figure out what I was going to use because I've used so many films. I had like an hour, almost 2 hour conversation with Amanda, and it was pretty much because of her why I decided to go with Max Pro. And basically, it was like I trusted myself with her. I was trying to build a reputation, a brand for me, but I had her with Max Pro and everything, like helping me, like kind of pushing me. So I fully stocked up on tint. I mean, I could say fully, but I mean, I bought a roll of every line. Brought my plotter. Amanda helped me with the plotter too. Next thing I know, I mean, my first month ever in business, I made 27K. First month ever in business, and it was just me and one guy. And then I outgrew that first unit, got the second one. Um, it was a risk, but I calculated my risks. And I hired another guy, and then that guy that I hired, he was actually my cousin. So we're all cousins, and like in my shop, they're all my cousins, and they're all my older cousins. I was the baby of the family. I was a little guy. I was a black sheep. While my family was working construction, I was tinting windows, you know. So they came along, and I dragged them in. So now in total, it's me and three guys, and then I went up to 35K, and then I was at 45, and then right now I hit $77,000 this past month, and
Congratulations! Wow, that's impressive.
I hit
What?
70.
Where are you at? What area are you in?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama. So why
Yeah,
Cali Custom if you're Birmingham, Alabama? Isn't that a little confusing? Because I'm
that,
thinking West Coast kid. I'm
yeah,
thinking, somewhere out of Fresno or
yeah.
or LA.
So
You know,
that was so coming up with the name. That when I got some backlash on it when I first opened up, but there's a whole story behind it. Like, so it was more of a marketing strategy, but then and like with me, there's a meaning behind it. So I had a brother of mine. He passed away 2 years ago, and his
or
name was Carlos, but his nickname in our family was Cali. So we always called him Callies. It was Cal, and my mom was the legal guardian. We graduated together. We ate together. We were like our rooms was like one door apart. So we grew up together. And then Cali Customs came into play. Cali Customs, and I couldn't stop and couldn't stop. But then I wasn't gonna do. So I had heard an advice when I was in Chattanooga. They said to put tinting or what you do in your name, and I was like, yes, but no, because I'm not just. I don't only want to tint windows. I don't want to be known as only the window tinter. I mean, that's what I'm known here in the area. But it's like, let me expand, let me express, let me show what I'm actually capable of. So that's why Cali Customs. But a lot of my customers, I'm getting calls from Cali, but that they live in Alabama now. But they're like, oh, you're from Cali. I had to get used to be like, yeah, now because I get it so much. Like when I first started, oh, I mean, it would be a sob story. Hey, my brother died, it was sad, but it's like, that's what it is. But from getting so constantly, yeah, 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 I've never stepped foot in Cali, never stepped foot. But now,
So
wow.
yeah, there's a lot. And here in Birmingham, like in Alabama, our industry, we're way behind in window tinting and PPF, and like we're behind. Like I'm talking like we're probably like 3 years behind of what everybody is in the industry. But since when I attend these conventions, these competitions, get to know people, talk to people, it's like I'm up to date and I know where we're at. I see where we're at. So it's like I use that and my advantage to kind of push my customers to like they see what they see on TikTok, they see it in me. They see it in my shop with my marketing, my everything. Like they see it all. So where it's like I do spend money on marketing, which is just Google ads and Meta ads, but I do them. But since I already kind of found that strategy, I mean, I just kept pushing forward, and right now I'm one of the fastest growing shop in my area.
Nice.
I
Congratulations on that.
I was curious to what all that Cali Customs does. Like, are you just doing PPF and tint, or are you bringing in other things as well?
So, I mean, you could say I'm a one-stop shop, you know. So I do window tinting, I do vinyl wraps, I do paint protection film, I do ceramic coatings, paint corrections. I don't do detailing. But I do aftermarket like parts. Somebody wants a spoiler in, bring it on. We'll install it for you. Then they have a whole body kit. Come on, bring it on. We'll install it for you. We do audio and like electrical stuff and starlights. I don't push it because I'm just like I don't have the space in the room to really push it as much as I want. But it's like if somebody asks me, yeah, we'll do it. But by all means. And all of my work has warranty. I don't everything, everything. Like if the film fails and I don't want, I'll replace it. And I keep going and I keep pushing and I'm gonna keep doing it just because I'm confident enough that my work is gonna be good. It's just like why am I not gonna back behind my warranty? And my warranties is like they call me, hey Chris, something happened to my fender. I'll just go ahead and replace it. There's no need to like go through so many different things for it. And all
So,
of
what do you contribute to your success growing so rapidly and bringing on more family members to your? I like that you're bringing on your family members into the game.
yeah,
What separates you from your competition? Let's say that.
if everybody sees my reviews, just customer experience. I talk to people like they're my friends. I don't draw a line where a lot of people do. I'm not a typical 9 to 5 kind of guy. Like if a customer calls me at 7 p.m., and I'm not like, let's say I'm not eating dinner with my family. Like if I'm eating dinner, I can't. But it's like if I have free time, hey, call me. I'll text you. My guys, I've trained them enough for them to talk to them. But all my guys, Spanish is their first language. They don't know a lot of English, but now they've opened up. Now they're having full on conversations with them. I give them incentives. Like if you sell a job, I'll give you a little bit, because I push them on to like know English and then sell the job, but then do the same amount of work in return. And for us, the biggest thing where we're like what really kind of makes us different is we offer courtesy shuttle service. Like when you gotta go down the road, we'll go drop you off and we'll pick you back up. No extra charge. Especially if we're tinting windows. And then my biggest like, what can I say? My biggest like cheat code that I found that I know that I do is I don't sell the product. I don't. I sell myself. I sell our business. I sell my brand. I sell who we are, not what we do. It's who we are. And because I know when they walk in, they're gonna see my boards, they're gonna see the product, they're gonna see what I do, but then yet I want to make sure the product that I'm using is gonna really back up my brand. And as I keep doing it, it goes and it goes and it goes. And then right now I have customers like they just call me because they see my reviews. Hey, I saw that you have great customer service. They come back, the same thing. They see the customer service. They see that it's the same. What they see on the review and they see online, the same thing they see in person. There's people who are window tinners and mono wrap installers that call me, hey man, I'm looking for a job. And I'm like, listen, I can't hire you. But if you want, just come like chill at the shop. So I've had people just coming for a whole day, kids just wanting to learn. And I never deny nobody. They're like, hey, I tried calling other shops because I'm trying to, learn how to tint a window, but they're not hiring and they don't want to teach them. I let them come on in. Because when I was learning, I wish I had that. I wish I had a shop where I could go learn and be hands on and not be scared. But they come in and go and I teach them. People want to, if they struggle on a piece of tent and they want to FaceTime me, I'll tell them. I'll teach them.
Awesome.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. I love that.
It's
So,
been
what made you just invest with your family, like keeping that circle close? You said people call you, they want to get a job, and
yeah.
most guys that you got so far are your family members, right? Cousins and stuff. So, is there a passion, a reason why it's a close circle?
I mean, my biggest thing is if I have the opportunity and I worked my ass off to get where I'm at now, and I want to create a great team, well, if it took me 5, 6 years to really like learn it all, let me teach my guys in a month. Like, let me just, let me put all my all for it. Let me just throw them in there. Let me just, I throw them. And there was one, and then why I put so much effort into my guys is me. Once we're at work, I forget we're family because business is business, family is family, family friends is a whole different thing. My thing, family, we stay back. The minute we're at the shop, it's like I tell them I work for you. You don't work for me. So as long as I keep that mindset with them and they know that, they're happy. They want buy tools. I got you. They want, I don't know, they're a specific kind of distilled water. I got you. It's like, so I invest into my guys and especially to them because they took the risk of leaving the construction world and to trusting me to make sure they get fed, to make sure they have their bills paid and everything. So what I do in return is I take care of them. But when I have guys wanting to come and work for me and wanting to be with me, and I know I can't take on that much, even though I love being a people's person, but I can't. Um, and if I can't change it that much, what I end up doing is just letting them come chill. They want to see guys tint windows. Tint windows. For example, like I see the comment right now, Braden Williams. He reached out to me because through a Facebook post, he called the shop and I answered him with like the biggest joy. He came by for a whole like he stayed a whole day. He saw this tint windows. He was there. And we kind of he kind of saw it all.
Beautiful. Love that. Change the smoke detector. Whose smoke detector is going out? Because that's not mine. I guarantee you that.
I think it's mine. I think it's mine. I think it's mine.
I think it is yours.
Yeah.
I've had that problem before, so I know I know Wayne and other people will pick on me real quick. So peer pressure is hard, man. Like these guys will really get on you.
No,
So when it comes down to batteries and when it comes down to changing the smoke detector, I have to stay on top of that. I'm glad somebody else is in the doghouse for that today.
So I wanted to ask, since you're bringing in family members from a different industry, how is the overall opinion of this industry changing in your family? Are other extended family members starting to see the value and like what you do over what everybody else was doing?
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like for me, that's when one of my family members they come and they text me or they come and they call me and they said that they want to be part of it and like how can they get into it. That's like I feel like that's my biggest compliment. That's my compliment because it's like so out of all the oldest cousins in my family line, mind you, I'm Hispanic. You can imagine how many cousins I have. So out of the oldest, I'm the youngest. So I'm the baby. And I threw myself out. I took a risk. So when they come now and they come in and they try to see what I do and everything, what do? Is I teach them and then I guide them, I mentor them, I try to push them. But like for example, one of my cousins, he was from the Maryland, DC area. He saw I threw up a post that I was hiring. He moved from Maryland, like the DC area, to Alabama just to work for me. And he was in roofing. And he decided to take a risk, move down here, start over, and to tint windows to wrap cars. And right now, he's the happiest he's ever been. Today, he got his first $50 tip, and he got his first Google review with his name. So for him, that was like the biggest, like he had the biggest smile all day.
Have you worked with any of your family that it didn't just work out? Maybe. And when I was younger, they weren't family members, but I was kind of thrown into training some people sometimes that were a little older than me, and sometimes they weren't so receptive to taking direction from somebody younger.
That's my thing. My cousins, all of them, they're all 25. I'm 22. I started my business at 21. So it was, I mean, the way I told them was, yeah, it was weird. On my end, it was so weird. I was weirded out. I was like, how do I tell my guys to do without me looking like I'm an asshole to do it? It was like, they just knew, like, if I would tell them one thing and they did it, but they didn't do it the way I said it, I let it be. Like, if I saw from far away they're about to mess something up, I said, until they messed up. Then I stepped in and then I showed them what I said first. So the way they realized, oh, we have to kind of listen to Chris, is because they knew within the industry I am much older than them. But
Hmm.
so Amanda mentioned earlier, we got Kevin, I got Roberto, and I got Edwin. So Kevin, he's my brother as well. So he was in painting like I think he has a year and a half into tinting right now. He was a painter, like drywall, everything. I brought him into window tinting. Me and him, we go head to head today. He's right next to me. Quality and like for us, if me and Kevin sit down in a car and we tint that car, we'll get it done 30 minutes max without prepping, cutting or nothing. As the minute we put it in, 30 minutes, it's all done. And the quality, everything will always be as greatest. Roberto, on the other hand, he started with me in February. He has 4 months of experience. He wraps full cars. He does the full body PPFs, assembles, disassembles, and there's nothing. I've gone and I've seen his work. My customers seen his work. I pulled in other people, like people in the industry that don't work with me, but I know them. I made them go grade like Roberto's work. They're like, dude, this looks like it's somebody that has experience. But since they put in that time, it's like I do my return on investment into them.
Yep. I like what Dustin said there. He said he found the easiest way to learn is to let them go through the mistakes, and then go over how to avoid those mistakes. And at Film Fest, somebody come up to me and was asking me some questions and stuff. And some of the questions he was asking was about trying to have employee retention. You know, the shop he was at was going through a lot of guys real quick, and he was asking about how to like get through to people and train, and you know, that's kind of what Dustin said there is kind of one of the things that I told him, like, you know, maybe, you know, let them make those mistakes, you know, and then, you know, show them how to avoid those mistakes rather than, you know, telling them how not to make the mistakes, right? You know,
Yes.
sometimes it's easier to let somebody learn by doing, you know. I was always one of those people, like I learn by doing, you know.
Yes. So, like, when you telling me that, my first manager ever, this was in 2021. I was scared to tint a window. I was so scared. Like it took me 2 weeks till I did my first roll up by myself with no help. But I was called 50 cents. That was my nickname because I only did two orders. So then it came into play. So he came in and I was scared. What he told me was, dude, just do it. If you mess up the film, you ain't paying for it. Just do it. That's where I picked it up. My guys now, same thing I tell them. If you mess up a window, get mad. But why are you gonna get mad? Just come ask for help after you mess up. Learn from what you do. I'll help you. But then if you mess up again, it's okay because you're not paying for the film. Like I'm telling my guys to waste the film, per se, like literally waste my film, just to just mess it up, and
Yep.
then I'll pay it back because I'm investing that into them. And then now it's like the way I have my business is I know I can go without work for the next 3 months, 4 months, not do a single car, and my guys will still get paid.
Hmm.
When I order material, I never cut corners. I order what I have to order. I'm never out of stock of something. I'm always stocked up. Amanda knows it. I'm always on to her. I'm like, Amanda, I need this now. I'm always trying to like keep it up. But then I saw Ricky Miller tell me that if I do fly glass, I do fly glass. I do. Right now, I'm doing a lot of residential on our higher end neighborhoods in the area. I'm doing a lot of them right now, and I do some commercial. So Kevin, my main window tinner, he's the one that's kind of in charge of it. Um, it's like so my guys are all based on salary, but they get their incentives and commissions and whatnot. So with me, I tell Kevin, hey, like you go quote it out, you get the measurements, you talk to the customer what you want, you sell the job, you do the job. I don't have to do anything. All I got to do is just order the film. Out of my whole job, I give him like 20 to 30%. So it's like, and if he gets it done in a day, that's up to him. But I kind of have him at that point just because since I have so much to worry about at the shop, let me separate, like, let me conquer, divide my brain power into somebody else and let them do it.
Yeah.
That's great to have somebody that's willing and able to do all that stuff, man. That's beautiful. So, so now you got residential down. You're kind
Yeah.
of working your way into the commercial. You got the automotive down. You're also dabbling into paint protection and wraps.
Hmm.
What's the next venture for you? What are you adding to the customization
There you go.
to make it into one stop shop?
So I mean, all I got left to do is powder coating, which I mean, we paint wheels, I sub it out. Like somebody was, I want to paint my wheels, I'll sub it out. I got it. Somebody wants to do it. Like right now, I have a truck. I have a Denali Ultimate. I'm sub like they want to lift, tire, wheels, everything, kit, everything. You just bring it in. I got you. I know. Like I talk about it to them. I sell them on it. Sub it out. So eventually, I'm gonna get to a point once I have my big like location is I'm gonna have everything. That's why customs came into play. That's why here in Alabama, that's kind of like what people are wanting.
That's beautiful, man. Stick with high end residentials, flat glass. Ryan, you beating Cash again? Why you got two black eyes? I know, dude. You guys see that? Like, I'm getting abused out here.
Oh,
Somebody save me.
Mike Powell. I remember Mike Powell. I met him at his shop. I met him in North Carolina for the first time. I ended up going to DC and Maryland to visit my family, and it was before I went to WFCT. I ended up going and like, I mean, I was like, oh, let me get trained because I mean, I was never trained. I was like, my map, you'd be missing something. Um, I mean, we tinted windows. Beside them, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not making to the finalists. I'm like, oh no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Mike told me he's like, dude, like just go in, your head up high. Like, listen, just think that you're gonna win. You got it. Like, all right, like don't expect too much from me now. And then it paid out for itself. That's why I have a picture with Mike as well when I'm holding up my little like medal because it's like he knew the conversation we had had. But like little things like that kind of started getting me into the whole like really get into the industry.
I think that's so true with so many competitors that have staged or got to the finalists
Yeah,
is when they're able to get it out of their mindset that it's tinting another window, right?
yeah,
A lot of great competitors, they overthink it. They stress it, like especially you got Ricky Miller in here, right? Like
yeah,
he's a heavy competitor, but
yeah,
he said it himself. Sometimes it's his own mindset that gets in his way, or he's trying to over perfect it, right? I've seen that same thing with Mike Powell and Kyle Whelan when they won tenor battles in 23. It was just like, hey man, we were just having a good time. We were tenting like we do at the shop, and they won.
yeah.
Fernando Saints is another beast, man. The
Oh yeah,
boogeyman is like literally he's he's a Terminator, okay, in the tin industry, okay. He's whatever you call the original Terminator. I forget the what series that was, but he's literally that. I mean, he calculates everything. He tries to perfect it. He asks a million and one question. He studies everything inside out. Like that dude, I have not seen anybody else like that dude. And for him to do everything and still kill it, it's freaking crazy. But
dude.
for taking Fernando out of the equation, talking to everybody else like the regular human beings, man, it's a one common thing that I've had the pleasure of finding out from WFCT, from Tinder battles, from Film Fest, from every event out there is that the guys that do very well is because they're not overthinking it. They're not overthinking it. They do it what they do normally. They just make sure that they have the muscle memory down. They just make sure that they have their tools. The other thing is don't try something new. Do what you do at the shop every day, and you're gonna do a lot better than you think.
That is
Yep.
very
Fernando's a man. Fernando is the boogeyman. Okay, he's not just the man. He is the boogeyman for a reason. And it's it's gonna be interesting to see what he does in the next couple competitions because I know that he's talking about attending Tinder battles and WFCT. I'm really looking forward to. Unfortunately, I've got my kids moving into college on Tinder battles because I wanted to go there because that seems like a really happening event right now. But I'm going to try my best to be at WFCT and try to see if I can compete again as well too. Because I really enjoyed competing last year and it was fun and to kind of see like, okay, I didn't do too bad, I didn't do too great, but I'm not a full time tinter. I'm a part time. But the assassin trained me well. He's giving me good uh, assistance on like what to do, making sure the tools are right, minimizing my prep and just muscle memory. And it was awesome. And dude, the XDC I went in last year, not this year, but the year before. That was my first official competition, and I only prepped for first round, man, because I just want to show people I can tin. I just had uh, the Australian enter Graham, and he saw me. He's like, "You actually tint? Like, I don't think you tint." I
Yeah.
was like, "Dude, why the fuck does everybody think I don't tint? Like, shit, I can lay some good film. Like to be on the top 50 in the WFCT." As my like official competition, man, I kind of take that as an honor. Now you coming in and being top 10, that's
I
a fucking whole different level, bro.
I
Like,
went with that same mindset. I was like, I mean, I'm just gonna, because when I walked into WFCT, I was scared.
same here.
I walked in, and I saw, but what was cool is like every person I saw, like they're like this like 10 influencers, like their social media is like, I'm like, dude, they're right in front of me. I just see them here, them there, and I'm like, damn, I learned how to tint this back because of that video, because of that person. Oh, I remember this. Like they all started clicking in, and when we went in for like that meeting, like before, like what was gonna happen at the actual like competition, I was scared. Like I sat back. I saw people like, oh, what about this? What about that? What about this? And I was like, I've never done this in my life before. Um, and nobody knew who I was. Like nobody knew who I was. It was just some random kid just walking in, about to tint some windows. And then once I made it to the final, like once I made it finalist, and then we all announced it all and everything. Um, I loved it. I had a lot of people who just came up, talked to me, oh, how, like Mitchell, he came in, he was like, dude, like, how old are you? And I was like, I was 20. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm 20. He's like, how long you been tinting? I'm like, 3 years. He's like, bro, what? And I'm like, I mean, I just tinted a window, It's like, what do you expect me to do? Because on one of my
Mitchell's
windows,
a hardcore tinter, man. Like
yeah,
his Nipsey really puts his heart out when he competes, man. He's a
Rachel,
great
the first time I met
and
him was at a dinner.
dude.
And I tried talking to him. He was hard on me. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit.
Mitchell either loves you or hates you. Okay, it's as simple as that. Like, there's no in between. Okay, so like as simple as that. But talking about where you competed, I was at the Turner for Cause booth when Mitchell finished his window, and he just said it. He's like, "I'm in. I'm into the next one." Like he came in with confidence. Like he just finished it. He knew, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm in." Like he's walking by. Me and D Mitchell is sitting there, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm in the next one." Like he just already had that confidence, and like, hey, and that's the great thing, especially with like Mitchell and Ricky and some of these competitors that compete so frequently, is that they know when they laid a good film and they know when they fucked up.
Yeah.
So like they know already, like shit, I messed up here. I'm not going to the next round, or maybe I'll go into the next round. Maybe I'll get lucky. Where somebody new like myself, like I had Carlos videotaping me when I was doing it, and I'm trying to use a ruler for the first time to cut my sidelines, and I'm taking way too long on the front window.
Yeah.
I literally rushed on the back window, but I got it laid in. I forgot to put any of the love note, the stickers on there, but I still made it into the top 50. So like it was like top edge is good. The main thing is down. There's no creases. The work is okay. So like gives you hope that hey, there's improvement needed, but it's scary as fuck, and it's fun as fuck. Like the dude, like the thing is, like you go to these events, and I see a lot of people that don't compete, and they're like, man, I can tip better than any of y'all. And well, why don't you come up and prove it, man? Like, keyboard warriors, like, but it's not about just the competition, it's the camaraderie, right? Like people ask, I know Shady asked this question, what do you love about these competitions or these events? It's the people, it's the damn people, it's the networking. It's like you said, you were able to talk to people to grow your business, grow your techniques. It's that, man. It's like, okay, hey, what you are able to utilize by knowing the people, right? Like knowing Ricky, like knowing Mitchell, knowing Mike Powell. When are you able to um, utilize them when you need it? I have made connections, and those connections have really come in handy when there's a car that you're not familiar with, or you're in a situation. I've called Richard Glenn Jackson all the way in California, man. This motherfucker will pick up the phone anytime you call him and help you, and then just tell you go fucking tint a window, bro. Like just glass. Like at the end of it,
Yeah.
he'll always tell you that line is just go tint a fucking window. It's glass, cash. Just go do it. There's so many great people I can name on and on. I mean, dude, Avery, Sean G, Roger Man. I've called Marco, the film trainer. I've called so many different people at different situations, and if one doesn't know, they'll tell you who to get to. But the connection you make with them, the ones you make in person, even like Mitchell, the connection that you make with them in person, you're never gonna make that connection with them online. It's not there. And the only way you can do that is when you go to these events, you get like-minded people that blows your mind that, oh fuck, he thinks like me. Oh, there's
mean,
3 ways of doing this, or there's 10 ways of doing this.
Like you're in a war, like literally in those like places. You turn to your left, window tinter front, window tinter right, window tinter behind you, window tinter. It's like it's a whole room of window tinters. And then once it's dinner time, everybody loves food, everybody loves beer. You mix those two together, you have the best conversations ever. You know?
You break bread, bro. Like the intimate connection is right there when you break bread with people. That sets you up a whole different level. So doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you're in when you break bread. That's where it comes into. But one thing I will say is when you're competing and you fuck up, like there's 10 other people watching you that know just by the way you're holding something or you did something that they know you fucked up as well too. So the peer pressure right there is what gets your butterflies right maximized. But
But
it's fun of it.
most
Being
of that time,
able to,
though, most of the time, that's you. That's you in your head, thinking you hear them talking about you. Meanwhile, they're talking about, they're not even looking at you, and like you see that little thing, your top edge or whatever, and now you're messing up and you're thinking about how you're not going to make it in and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, you could just keep going, and that could just be a minor tenth of a point deduction, but you rip it off, like it's it's either that you float that window in like butter, right, and it goes in perfect, or you start struggling and you lose it. Like it's so hard to recover, I think, in those things, and that's what a lot of people who haven't competed or watching from the outside don't get, right? Because it's not like being in the shop. It's not like in the shop. A little thing happens and it's like, yeah, so what? Whatever. In that moment, it's so hard to come back from it.
Yeah.
yeah, no, but I mean, there's so much stuff, man. Like, so I love these events, man. Like every single one of them, each one of them is a little bit different than the other, but they all have their own little unique way of making it fun and being able to enjoy it. But at the end of the day, it's the people that make up the events, and having that, like you said, having that breaking the bread with them. Just having a good meal with bunch of friends, man. I mean, at the
But
end of the day, that's what they become, right? They become family and friend.
I was so sad I couldn't go to the film fest this year.
It
And
was
there's
it was a good time.
it was a good time. It was definitely a good time. Love the dinner. Like the welcome dinner was fun. I got to kick some Tinder's ass in laser tag, so that was fun. Really didn't get to do any bowling with anybody other than my family a little bit, but my kids had some good time with it. But the award dinner, man,
Yeah,
my
I saw.
regret on the award dinner is I didn't get to test the dessert. The
Yeah,
dessert looked so damn good. I didn't get that cupcake from Michelle, and I didn't get the dessert.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that restaurant just for that, man.
I want that next time. I'm definitely gonna go. My biggest thing was just because a lot of it was just like business going on right now, like so much to handle at once. But then I do have a little mini me on the way too.
Oh,
Oh,
congratulations,
congratulations.
bro! First
So,
baby,
huh?
first
Yes,
baby.
my first baby.
Oh, congratulations,
Yeah,
congratulations!
my first son. So
Nice, bro. When does he do?
November 10th, apparently now.
November 10th. Wow,
Yeah,
congratulations, bro. Look, it's your first year in business. We understand, dude. Like, there's a lot of people that wanted to come, weren't able to come because, either other, you know, priorities or engagements or whatever. But, like, dude, first year in business, first baby, you got plenty of excuses why not to
I
come, bro.
got like even Amanda right now. She was like telling why I couldn't go. But I told Amanda, I was like, Amanda, I'm not gonna go because like you're not gonna be there. Like, how am I not gonna like meet our sales rep? Like, if we're not even gonna go. Yes, but yeah, right now since I opened February 7th, we're on June 15th. I'm around like 250K in gross sales right now.
Nice.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful, man.
I wanted to touch on something else you mentioned before too about ripping the film off, and saying you're not paying for it and everything. One
Yeah.
of the things that I've said to people before, is like that it's not a waste if you're learning what you did. If you're learning from it, if you get mad and you just rip it off and go right at it again, then that could be a waste, right? Because you're not paying attention to what you did. You're not trying to figure it out. But if you're learning from it, that wasn't a waste, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's my thing. I mean, I remember I never even got in trouble for like per se wasting film. I knew other competitions, like other shops in my area. If an employee wastes film, they get charged for it. Like they get it discounted from their check. Like, and I'm just like, now when I'm in the position, I mean, I didn't understand it when I wasn't a business owner. When I'm in it, when I being a
Uh-oh.
and me being a business owner now, I try to motivate my guys to waste the film, to do that. Like the other day, we did a Tesla Model Y, and I think they were trying to cut corner on like a door, and then like a little pillar on a Model Y. Ran out of film. We didn't have no more PPF, so I had to go spend another. Well, I only ordered half a roll, so I had to spend like about like $700 to $800 on a roll of film for just two little pieces. But the guys netting now when the next Model Y came in, it was like butter. But right now, I have a customer coming with the G-Wagon tomorrow. So like,
Oh shit!
I
For
know.
PPF?
No.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Oh, I was about to say
No.
you're saying they're having trouble with the Model Y, and then you go to a G wagon. Bro, I haven't touched the G wagon yet.
No, I've done a G-Wagon before, but for a vinyl wrap. But he's coming for a wrap.
Okay.
He's coming for a wrap. But
yeah, the PPF on the G wagons, man,
I know
it's
I
definitely.
want to do one though. Like PPF. We have Jesus Anaya, and y'all know him. He has the Prolific Academy. He came out and I called him up. I've known him for a good bit now. And he went to go train my guys for the PPF because I didn't have the time to. He trained them, but now they already got a roll. PPF, they don't mess up no more. Window tinting, they don't mess up no more. So G-Wagon, they're definitely gonna learn today.
Yeah.
But I'm throwing jobs at them.
You
Like,
get a G wagon down, man. You're down. You're like you're a chef. Then like you get a G wagon down under your belt. That's it.
I know.
It's like today we had a customer that had the Porsche Targa, and it's got the back window, the really curvy one.
I love them.
And my sales girl was like, "Hey, so what do we charge on this?" I'm like, "We charge extra because that shit's gonna take some time, and we're gonna have to do it twice because first time almost never works out." And the customer's like, "Oh, you guys are charging too much for it." Well, I was like, "Hey, man, best of luck to you, but we've done those before. We know what it takes, and we're gonna take our sweet time to it." Because Ryan will literally tear film if it's not good. You know, it's Ryan's one of those guys that really looks at. Now he also know how to fix a lot of shit. Like that's where the ass comes in really hard, is that he knows how to save film, and he's saved a lot of film, but he will also rip film, that if it's not good, man, we're not gonna pass it out. You know, doesn't matter if you get the cheaper version or you get the better ceramic version of it. Is you gotta stand behind your work, right? Like you said, customers that really appreciate the work, that especially got to work from you. Next time they come in, they don't ask pricing. They ask, what shade they want to go with and what film they want to go with, right? So
Something that I had to get used to recently is, when I first started, or like even when I worked at other places, it's like you had to try to sell the customer with pricing. Now my company took a shift to where it's like they don't ask me about a price no more. They're like, oh, we saw you do good work. We're gonna bring it in. Can you fit me in this day, this day? Like right now, like for this past 2 weeks, my average tent ticket price, like if from everything, it's been like $800, and I've done like 4 a day. So it's like the return on investment has been like rolling and rolling and rolling. Like on Saturday, we knocked out like 8 cars. I mean, it was a good tent day. You know, but
right, right.
I love tent. I love my tent days more than my wrap days and then my PPF days and everything, because it's like, I mean, your return on investment on this like that. With wrapping, it's like, yeah, you got to take 5 days, 6 days, but with tent, it's like right there.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
then
I mean, you can definitely tend a lot more cars than you can PPF or rap. That's
yes,
why I don't do rap anymore, because I originally started with rap. Like the
yeah,
rap guy was the guy that actually got me into tending, because he was like, "Hey man, how many people got $3,000 in their pocket? And how many people got 300 in their pocket?" I'm like, "Kaching."
I mean, I don't got the money. My guys got the money. You
Well,
know,
it was like more like, hey, you can hit more volume, right? With as a business owner, you're looking at possibility, like how
oh
many
yeah,
cars are gonna want tint on their cars compared to how many customers want wrap on their car. Like there's probably 99 tinted windows compared to one vehicle wrap. If you're looking at 100, there's 99 more customers available when it comes on to tint. And like you said, you're knocking out 8 in a day, where you're taking 5 days to knock out a one wrap car.
yeah.
So it's definitely numbers game, if
It's
you get
another
that
thing.
down. PPF, I think it's like the middle change. Like if you especially get it down
Yeah,
to where you have it, where you can do it pretty quick,
it's not
especially like
like
front
a
ends
month,
and
yeah,
stuff.
a day or two, check it out.
Yeah,
But
like
now I have about I got my bays. I can fit about 4 cars into it right now. So
nice.
I push out. I tried to, and I mean we've been doing good. I push out 2 to 3 vinyl / PPF jobs a week, and then about like, mm, I mean, we can do 10 differs. I can't have an estimated number on 10.
Are you using a CRM to track your numbers? Or are you
Yes, I have my CRM. I use Shot Positioner.
okay?
That's with Carlos Luna.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice,
I've used him. He's the one that built my website too. So
nice.
I've been kind of playing with it there for these past few years. Now I do have a question for you guys. Now this is the part where it's like I need help. Um, how do you come about hiring a salesperson? It's like I'm the only one who's doing the sales. I mean, like at the shop, that's my job. Like I'm not there tinting a window every day. I'm not there laying film. I mean, one day I'm maybe doing tint, the other day I'm doing PPF, then another day I'm doing wrap. So it's like I switch around, but I do like a two like I did a full Cybertruck in like 10 hours by myself, knocked it out pretty quick. But when it comes to sales, I can only do it. Like tint, my guys, they got it down to a brim. They upsell when I couldn't even do it. But when it comes to wrapping and PPF, like what trajectory should I take to tell myself, you know what, I should get a salesperson now?
My best suggestion to you is hire a good salesperson and a fresh salesperson. Okay. So hire a salesperson that knows how to sell, but
Okay.
hire somebody that hasn't done it in this field, right? So you can train them the way you want to train them. kind of like what you've been doing with your business, right? You've been bringing in your family that's been in the construction. You kind of been teaching them how to do it your way. So there is no, conflict of you changing them.
Yeah.
But you need a people person, a person that can read people, that can, talk to people at their level. The biggest thing in sales, in my suggestion, would be is, set them up on a commission base, so that way they're they're encouraged to make the sale, right? um I always, whenever I had salespeople, I always put no cap on them. Like, hey, if you bring me $1 million, you're gonna get paid off $1 million. But if you bring me $1,000, you're gonna get paid off $1,000, because on that.
Uh-oh.
Was that
What was
me?
that? Yeah, we lost you. Lost
Oh,
the screens.
okay.
Chrissy, can you see what Bill wrote?
Yeah.
Find an accessory service writer that understands the structures and timing and packages. There you go. That's it. So I mean, you want to find somebody that's can relate, can easily learn from it. But again,
How about like
if
paying,
you hire a salesperson from another tin shop, another wrap shop, there's going to be a lot of trying to do it the way they used to do it and the way you want to do it. So there's a lot of that. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't work. I'm just saying taking a clean slate, but the person that has the right, like what Bill said, somebody that has in the accessory department or in the automotive department.
yeah,
Like one of my best sales guy on my tire side was Toyota. Worked for Toyota as a sales guy. He sold cars, but he loved cars. So when he was selling tires and wheels, it was easy for him because he can relate. They like that field. You want to get somebody in there in sales, especially what I'm finding out with sales is that get somebody that's interested in automotive. If they're not interested in automotives, they're not going to understand your customers, and they're not going to have that passion if they're just working for a paycheck. That's my personal thought. Okay, now some people be just hire a salesperson. If they sell, that's all that matters. But you say you're selling yourself, you're selling your story, you're selling you're not selling your product, you're selling you, right? So if you want to align that with your vision, you want to hire somebody that's going to be similar to your vision, right? Like that's going to have that passion, that's going to have that understanding of customers. But the biggest problem in sales, make sure they know how to read people and make sure they know how to follow what you set up. Your biggest as an owner, and this is my problem as well too, is biggest problem is we expect everybody else to do what we're able to do. That's not going to happen. First
yeah,
and foremost, get that out of your head. Second of all, if your guy is doing something wrong, and this is still a problem for me, the problem is you didn't set the right expectations, or you didn't communicate with them.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying? Like, the problem is communication. Now, if you communicated with them multiple times and they're not learning, it's time to switch up.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
But
Like you literally got to write down the three strikes, man. Like 1, 2, and 3.
when it comes to hiring, though, it's like, I mean, I've never dealt with like sales. I haven't dealt with like I've dealt with sales, but it's like I never seen the pay structure behind sales. Because when I was selling tint, when I was working at these other shops, my goal was try to sell it for the most expensive. Even though I didn't gain anything from it, my goal was always trying to get the most out of it. But when it comes to paying somebody, like payroll coming into play with a salesperson, how do you know you're paying them good? How do you or you're paying them too much, too little? Like, what's the balance? Should there be a base plus commission? Should it be
yeah.
like first commission? Should it what's the thing?
Well, I mean, so look, everybody that's gonna come in is gonna want to have some kind of security, right? So like
Yeah,
that's where the base kind of comes in. Base means that, listen, if there's not enough leads coming in, there's not something coming in, that there's a base for that. Like, hey, I'm paying you, you know, $10, $15, $20 an hour just to cover that you're showing up and you're there, right? There's a base for it. Now you can also structure it to where you start off with the base and then you go fully commission. So I've done that with my sales guys. Like, hey, listen, first 3 months I'll give you a base, which means that there's a minimum check coming in. It gives you time to come in, set up your skills, learn the product, learn the script, learn what our cost is, where we're making money, and then you get a bonus as your commission for whatever you sell, like, or wherever you upsell, right? Like everything is on what you're able to close. But you can put it to where, okay, after 2 months, 3 months, we're going to have another conversation. We're going to look at what numbers you've done. And now, if you're doing enough numbers to where you're the lead salesperson and you're taking care of most of the jobs, you should have enough money coming in just off the commission. Then the base shouldn't matter, right? Like, because you want to give them more incentive to take a bigger chunk of the pie, right? Like at the end of the day,
for like
what's really what I think you lose a lot of employees because of this. If you don't pay them well, if you're doing well, you need to pay them well. If you're not doing well, then there needs to be a structure change. There needs to be something changed on it. And again, I've been doing fucking business for 35 years and I still struggle with a lot of this stuff. It's hard. So I don't know what suggestions Ryan's got. So sorry, Ryan.
No. I was just commenting back on that service writer thing because it's funny that he says that. In the past with dealerships that I did work with, the service writer always, though at the one dealership, man, he sold tons of work for me, right? Man, while he was there, like I was in that dealership multiple times a week, usually. Sometimes like I was in there until late at night, and those guys would pay me full retail price too. Whatever I charged, I come in there and pay me, and they just upcharge whatever they needed to do. Man, he was great. And I had another service writer from another dealership who was about it was an hour and a half away from me. He used to sell a ton of work for me too. But he would have me come up to his personal shop sometimes at least once a month during the summer, sometimes twice a month. I'd go up there, and I'd slam out like 8-10 vehicles out of his shop too. And like, so the service writer thing, they usually have a passion for the automotive industry. They do understand how services are work and done and are done. So I really like that idea. I never really thought about that before.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm gonna tell you, with service writer, you can either hit it or you can, like, I just said, last service writer I got my service from, greedy as fudge. Like all they care about was numbers. The service writer before that, she cared about the customer service aspect of it. She made sure that she got the service done right, made sure she recommended what's there. But it's people person at the end of the day, man. Like, I think Mike Brooks hits this the best is you can go get a waitress from your local steakhouse and turn her into or him into a salesperson. But they got to have the passion for it. They have to have the people skills. The biggest thing in sales is people connection. People that are able to read people, they can sell any fucking thing on there. I'm not trying to quote Wolf of Wall Street or anything, but don't send me the pen. It's the passion, bro. It's like reading that people, understanding what their focus is, right? Like upsell isn't really upsell. It's you're selling the customer what they're looking for, right? If they want ceramic or if they want heat reduction, you're going to push them towards ceramic. If they just want some privacy, they don't give a damn about heat reduction, and you're the asshole that sells them ceramic just because you're trying to do the upsell on it. Not only are you fucking it up for yourself, you're also fucking it up for the industry because they're gonna have that bad mouth taste in their mouth. Like, fuck, I spent a whole bunch of money. And that's where you kind of have to figure out for yourself. It's kind of hard to put that on there. But here's what I'm gonna tell you: figure out what your cost is. Okay, be upfront with your guys. Hey, our material cost, including shipping and waste, is this. This is our cost. This is what we're trying to sell it for. Give them flexibility, room to work with whatever they want. Base the commission off of that. That way they know what the structure is. Because if you're front with them on the structure, it's easier for them to work with it and kind of increase from there, right?
Yeah.
Like I think communication comes all down to you as an owner.
Yes.
Dustin says, "Seen sales guys push ceramic film on ski boats. Kudos to them, but no." I mean, dude, that's where it kind of comes down to. But I don't know if this helped. But like I said, my thing is, you want to find. In my opinion, I would hire somebody that's not coming in from another tin shop. I would hire somebody in the customer service industry that is wanting to learn and has some passion about your industry. You
And then
know,
when it comes to that, because I mean, it's the same way. Like when I saw the job, if a customer calls me for like carbon film or just like a basic film, I don't push them on into ceramic. Because I don't want to just hear the beep beep beep, the hang up. So it's like you can read people even through a phone call nowadays.
yep.
But my thing is, how do you know like what percentage do you pay a salesperson? Like, do I switch it up with tin? Do I switch it up with reps? And then reps PPF could be one category. My automotive tin could be a different category. Like, that's where I get confused. Like, what percentage could do they gain? Like what's
That's on you and their skill level, bro. Like you got to look at your profit and loss. I mean, you got to look at your overhead. You got to figure out. And this is where I was talking about earlier. If you're making good money,
yeah,
don't be that greedy boss where you're like, hey, I'm only going to pay you this percent because I want to keep the larger money. You're
yeah,
going to shoot yourself in the foot with the growth. And I, may some people may hate this, but I think if you're doing good, your guys should be doing good as well too.
yep,
But giving them like, hey, this is where cost is. This is where the shop needs to bring in to cover overhead. Everything on top of is extra gravy, but we're gonna base it off, you know, take out the cost. Like the cost needs to be taken out.
yeah,
Material cost needs to be taken out of the equation. So you're not paying off of gross sales. You're paying off of, after material. Like
yeah, yeah,
that's where really my suggestion is that you take out the material costs. I'm talking about overhead and everything. I'm talking about materials. So if your film is costing you 20 bucks a car or $10 a car, that's where you need to put down like, okay, hey, this needs to be covered. I'm gonna as a business owner, I'm gonna cover the overhead, I'm gonna cover the insurance, I'm gonna cover
yeah,
everything else. That's gonna come out of my portion. But if we're selling a job for 250 and the cost of film is 30 bucks, just for reference says, right? So your percentage is going to be based off the 220.
yeah,
But don't go off of true cost on material, because your true cost of material is, if you're plotting, you're wasting some film.
yeah,
Okay. If you're got learners or even advanced guys, they waste some film. That cost needs to be calculated at what are you averagely doing, what kind of cars you're doing, what kind of film you're going through, what the cost is of a waste. So that's something that you have to figure out. That's why I was asking if you had a CRM, so you can take a look at how many cars you're doing, how many rolls are you bringing in, how many rolls are you going through. Everybody says, well, I can get 8 cars, 9 cars out of full roll. Bro, that you have to be perfect to do 9 cars out of a full roll, and you're not wasting anything. You're utilizing every single inch of that. If
yeah,
you're
yeah,
plotting, bro, you gotta have 36, you gotta have a 40, you gotta have a 24 to minimize your waste, because there's going to be cars that is not going to be able to work with 36. There's going to be cars that if you use just 40 like I was doing in the beginning, I'm wasting shitload of film.
yeah,
When Ryan came in, Ryan's like, dude, you got to get 36 in here because you're wasting a lot of film. And at that time I was just thinking like, okay, I need time. I don't care about film wasting. But then the cost make adds up. When you're not doing volume, it's not that bad.
yeah,
uh, but once you start doing volume, your cost needs to be calculated like, hey, that cost difference between a 36 and a 40-inch roll, that could be a car.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh,
because the way I've structured my business right now, um, the way my gross sales, they don't come from volume. They come from because I'm one of the most expensive shops in the area. Um, because I had the thing of like, when it comes to taking costs out and everything, like, when I told you those 3 months before I opened up my business, I went through all of that. Like, I was like, the way I priced out my things was not just a number thrown out there. It was like, okay, let me see my overhead, let me see how I'm taking my guys, let me see waste here, waste there. They're still in training. Like, that's kind of what I go through, and like, what I kind of put out. Because I mean, the cost, like, it goes, like it really, really, really goes. And right now, like with my guys, I got 3 guys. My payroll is, it's fun on Fridays because I take care of them. For me, they're paid, like, in my area, they're one of the, as from the experience that they're in, they are paid higher than per usual, um because they're loyal to me. They picked up, and they actually, like, my return on investment is actually good with what I pay them. And
so one thing on that,
last week I took them to the water park. Like,
one
I
thing,
took my guys to the water park just because, I mean, sales were good. They did good.
yeah, I mean, you
Right.
got to incentivize and have some good experience with your guys, especially when they're family members and stuff. Um, One thing I will tell you, and I just had this conversation with one of my guys.
Yeah.
If you're overcompensating, you're trying to, make sure that they get fed, but you don't get fed, that business is not going to be there tomorrow.
Mm-mm.
So one of the biggest mistake in business for a lot of people is that they try to please other people,
Before they could please themselves.
and they overwork themselves, or they sink their boat because they're trying to make sure that the engine is running, making sure everything else is running. So you really got to know your numbers, understand your numbers,
Yep.
and that's where nobody can tell you what percentage to pay a guy. Okay, that needs to be coming off of you, off of your experience, what your charges are, what your cost is from film, because what you're paying for, um, you know, out of the film you're doing. I mean, you can't compare cost of somebody else because they might be using Lexan, you're using Max Pro, somebody else might be using Autobahn or Expel, or every film is slightly different,
Yeah.
but every market is slightly different. Atlanta, shit, I got a call today. This customer told me he's gonna get ceramic for $180 for both front doors, removal, and a panoramic sunroof. And all I said was, brother, that's an awesome deal. I will go get that. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to beat that. And I wish you best of luck. It's one of those things. It's like, dude, $180, and you want true ceramic, and you want me to remove 2 doors. So where's the labor in there? Where's that sounds like all material right there.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Like, if there is layer, especially panoramic sunroof, come on, dude. Like, you're gonna take a bath for
We've
free.
done like 3 panoramics, like, in the past. What, we did like 3 on Saturday, and then we did like 2 today. My guy, he loves them, you know.
Well, we
But
do Model Y, so we do the Model 3s,
I like the
fun, but
I like what you said.
material.
I like the part that you said where you don't want to you know what I mean.
I got you. Hey, man, if you ever want to talk more detail on it, you're more than welcome to call me, and
Yeah, definitely. But
we can
I really like that
have you
part.
run some numbers.
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing that information out. Even on the live, I just don't want to get the people bored up. Like, damn, these guys
Yeah,
are
definitely. But
boring,
that
boring right
advice,
now.
though, that what you said is something that a lot of people should actually take into consideration too. Is when you overcompensate, your guys, and you can't compensate yourself. You put yourself like in a little like pickle, because it's like now they're doing better than you're doing, and you're the one busting your ass for it. That's kind of the balance. I mean, it was like that at first. Don't get me wrong. I was in that boat when I go at first, because it was my responsibility that I took my guys out of a whole different industry, put them in one. But sooner than later, I started balancing it out to where it's like, obviously, as a business owner, you get more compensated because you're busting ass, you know. But I'm glad, to kind of where I've been at everything. Especially now, I mean, like I tell people, I'm 22 years old. My biggest goal, like my goal, my ultimate goal is just to get like the word out there because there's so many new window tinners coming into play, new vinyl wrappers, new social media had taken a big hit. That's why there's so many of these guys now, and the reason why I tell people, and the reason why I want to tell my story is because I want people to understand, if he could do it at this age, why can I not do that? Biggest thing is just you strategize, you got a system, you take care of your guys, figure out your cost, you got
There
your
you go.
business, you know and
I
then
mean,
that's
it goes both ways. What we talked earlier, like don't cheap out on paying your guys, but don't overcompensate your guys either. Like if you're in business, they're gonna be in business because you got to treat it like, hey, you got to look out for your family, but your guys are part of your family as well too, right? Because their family is depending on you, so that's your extended family. So you got to take care of the whole family on that. You just got to know your numbers, man. Like in any business, like I used to watch this old show, the Profit, and one of the biggest thing the guy I saw was like people don't know their overhead. They're draining all their saving into it. If a business is not turning profit, if you cannot easily survive, sometimes it's you got to cut the tie. You got to, before you go too deep into it, strategize. It's knowing the numbers, man. Like anybody that's has good information on it. Biggest thing I've learned so far from everybody is know your numbers. And a lot of time, like I said, I'm still struggling on a lot of that stuff, trying to figure out what numbers to work with and what numbers don't work with. But there's got to be, you got to have a, when you ask about the sale guy, you got to have a timeline in your plan. Like if I hire a salesperson, I'm gonna give them this much time to get to the level I want them to be at. If they're not getting in between that, I need to have three minor checkpoints. Just like
yeah,
when we're talking about competition's all about time. You have to have a mindset like, okay, hey, if I got 20 minutes to do two windows, where am I at 5 minutes? Where am I at 10 minutes? Where am I at 15 minutes? So I know that I'm staying within that course, right? So it's the same thing with the sales hiring. Same thing with your installers. If you got a guy that's just dumb as an ox and is not going to learn like how to handle PPF, maybe you shift him over to Tint.
yeah,
Vice versa, or Wrap. There's guys that can handle everything, and then there's guys that love one and hate the other and don't get it. And it's how do you utilize that, right? Like, how do you take that, make that work for both of you guys? And then there's times where if it doesn't work out, and you got to be able to part ways, be like, hey, man, it's nothing personal. Business is business, and if it's not working out for you and it's not working out for me, why are you being in a toxic relationship?
yeah,
Right? Sometimes it's as simple as that. Is like, hey man, we thought we were gonna be here. We're here. We started off. We kind of put it right here, and we're kind of struggling to be here, but we're not getting nowhere near that. And if you're not getting there, you're not making money. They're not making money, and it's a tough call. It is a very tough call. I mean,
yeah,
that's one of the things about being an owner, man. Like, it's one of those things that's gonna keep you up at night, and you're gonna be like, "Fuck, man, payroll is on Friday.
yeah,
This week wasn't that great, but I still gotta pay these guys." Or there's the other times where you're like, "Shit, man, we worked our ass off. These guys gonna love their paycheck on Friday." Like I'd rather have those than the other one where like, "Shit, man, I don't want my guys feeling sad because their paycheck doesn't look that great."
yeah,
Right? So like it's at the end of the day, bro, know your numbers. You talk to a lot of these leaders that's been in this industry for a long time. A lot of these people that Ron Towsley's and these guys that know numbers, that's grown businesses, that sold, that multiplied. Mike Berg, Mike Norg, all these guys that are leaders. They're gonna tell you the same thing, man. Like one thing I've learned from a lot of these guys is know your numbers, grow your presence, invest in your business. Like you said, you're investing in tools, you're investing in product, but you're also marketing. right? So the
Yep.
biggest thing that in today's world, a lot of us that fall short is the social media presence. Look at Ricky Miller, man. He was in here. Green Valley is everywhere. Their social presence is everywhere.
Yep, it
Yeah,
is.
we're here in Atlanta, and they're in freaking Las Vegas, and I see ads for Green Valley. Sometimes it's like, what the hell? But they're getting their social presence out there, especially when it comes to Facebook. Because Facebook don't cost you much. You're
And
not
what you should do one day, check out my page on the Cali Customs.
okay.
It's different. You'll see it.
I'm gonna have to check you out, bro. I'm gonna have to check you out and see what you're doing because I'm getting one of those older ages that having a hard time understanding what your young folks are doing to kill it out there. But I see a lot of you guys are killing it out there, and it's with the social media. So
Yeah, for me.
that's literally what I'm looking into hiring.
I have a videographer and photographer as well. I pay them every
See,
time.
see, that's like I gotta get into that. Like literally, I need to learn from you guys as well on social media and having a video guy and a
Photographer.
photographer. You know, it's like you gotta have that. Like,
Like I said, a lot of us like youngins, you could say, the reason why we have, well, at least for I'll speak for myself. The reason why I was so advanced at 3 years into that competition, I mean, an old school mind taught me like I worked no AC, no nothing. Like we were tinting cars. It was hot as hell in the damn shop. He taught me, all the tricks. Now we got gel. What I was doing was the glue trick. That's what I was doing. Then gel came along, and I felt like I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wait, am I behind? Um, we did
Jealous
that.
is new, man. Jealous 2 years old. Jealous not that old, you know. So like, don't
Exactly is new, but I was doing
you know?
the glue trick. And then, but the advantage that I had is an old like school mindset taught me, but then I went social media meeting all these guys with all these new generation tricks and tools and everything. You put those two together, you're way ahead.
I think also I've talked about this in the past. You had mentioned how you got to work in like a couple different shops early on too. That I think seeing those different techniques and stuff, that helps you grow real quick as well. Of course, the social media helps, but when you're actually in the shop with somebody and watching and asking questions and getting those little tips and stuff, that really helps.
It
I,
helps. It helped a lot. My thing was different environments because I worked at 4 shops, but the shop that I worked, the only shop that helped me was my the second shop I worked at because I already knew how to tint. He just taught me the tricks. But then I stepped foot in all these other shops, and I was waiting to get taught more, but it was reversed. I ended up the one teaching, but I did mobile window tinting for a while, and I mean, I didn't like doing it, but then it puts you in these environments that like, whoa. And then once you're at the shop, it's like, oh, like it's easy.
yeah.
Here's Dustin Gonzalez got advice for you on as well too. I'll put it on the screen. So you know, last guy I helped interview for a shop was doing 70,000 plus 3%. This was for a larger shop. I've seen straight salary. I've seen high commission with 35,000 a year. Also depends on the person you're hiring. What are they looking for? You have resources, hit up some of these other shops and see the variety of pay plans and what works currently for your business.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good point right there too, is understanding what the other person's needs are, right? Like what do they need to survive for them to scale, for them to work and all that. You kind of have to understand that. And actually, I think that's a very good point right there because I think Mike Norg hit that up on one of his videos when he did like interview with the new hire, right? What is your expenses? What is your monthly expenses? What do you need to be able to survive and get by, right? Not what you want, but what is your needs? So when you're hiring somebody, making sure that their needs are fulfilled and whatever you can get on top of that is just extra icing, right? So like understanding that after you understand your numbers. But man, way past over our hour or hour 24 minutes. This was really interesting, man. It was very good to talk with you. I would love to freaking chat up with you some more, man, because I think there's a lot that we can learn from each other.
Definitely.
Um, but I love the motivation that you got. I love the planning that you got going on. Especially your success is beautiful, bro. Like that's awesome that you're killing it. You're bringing in family members and you're helping them out. When you say older cousins, the only thing I was thinking was like 35, 40-year olds, and you're saying like they're 25. Dude, that ain't really old. That's like same age, like a couple of years. Come on.
3 years.
That's why you get along so well easily
Check
because
out. That's for me. My biggest compliments. They're my Instagram.
yeah,
My
bro,
Instagram.
I have real older cousins. I'm talking about 15, 20-year-old cousins because my dad had a large family
Yeah.
and my dad was the youngest. So I'm the oldest out of my dad's kids,
Yeah.
but like other than my brothers, there's only two other cousins that are younger than me. Everybody else is way older. Like I have anywhere from 3 years to like almost 15, 17 years older than me. So like dealing with those cousins is kind of like almost dealing with the parents.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about older cousins, I'm like literally thinking 35-year-olds, but then you said 25. I was like, oh come on, bro. That's your homies. That's like, we the same age. Like that's like how I am with my 5 year the guys that are 5, 7 years older than me. I treat them like we're same. But the guys that are 15 years older than me, oh my god, like it's a whole different treat for them. Like the respect is different. The way you talk to them, it's different. So it's kind of fun seeing that you got that because in my family they used to call me boss man because I was young and I was entrepreneur driven to be like running businesses and stuff. Because a lot of my cousins they wanted to do more physical hands on. I always wanted to do both. I wanted to be able to run a business, and I ran my dad's business because he needed somebody to run a business for him. So
Yeah.
I took on responsibility really early. So like I always got the nickname of boss man because they say I always implemented too much of the corporate world into the business.
That's what I mean.
Anyways, it's good to reminisce with you, man. Like I really love that time we spent. Love to probably bring you on, another 3 or 6 months and see how you're doing and where you kind of progress. Are you going to any of the events later on this year?
I was just thinking about that right now. My baby's due in November, so I might try to go in August to the WFCT. I haven't tinted. I mean, the last time I tinted was this past Saturday, but it kicked my ass. My back was hurting by the end of the day. And I did a Mustang, so you know how that went.
Yeah.
But I probably go WFCT. I'm gonna see. I might compete just for the funds of it, but I just want to go back and just go talk to everybody. That's all I want to go do. I just want to
Yeah,
go back.
I'm trying to convince my wife to let me go to WFCT.
Yeah.
So it's like I said,
When is Center Battles?
Tenor Battles is August 15, 16.
And then WCT.
WFCT is like August 27th, I want to say.
Back to where's Center Battles and where is
Tenor
WFCT?
Battles is in LA and WFCT is San Antonio.
Damn, I might have to take like a week trip with my wife then.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
So they're both happening in August. They're a couple weeks apart.
Yeah.
I Tenor Battles, man, that one I can't get out because the days the Tenor Battles at, I literally got to move one kid into college.
Yeah.
And so I know I'm not gonna be able to hit that. I so badly want to go to Tenor Battles because I know Carlos is gonna really kick ass with this event. How many competitors he's got? He's got a 36,000 square foot facility now. And it's at a freaking like a studio, so I think it's gonna be badass. And I've been going to all the Tenor Battles lately, and like it sucks that I have to miss this one.
Yeah.
But I like going to these events, even though it disrupts business a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, what I spend out there, the connections I make, and what I learn, because I always learn something from somewhere, it's worth the money at that time when you look at it that way.
Probably by August I'll have a salesperson too, so I don't got to stress too much about when I'm out.
There you go. Hey, you got to tell the wife.
I'm gonna be halfway competing. Thank you for calling Cali Customs. How can I help you?
Yeah.
I don't tend every month and just competed for the fun of it, get back in the ring. Unfortunately, I can't compete at WFCT.
Yeah, I'm
Dustin,
gonna
yeah,
tell
that's
Dustin if he wants to team up on one of these competitions.
yeah. So but we're gonna be setting up a training event pretty soon too. So we're in the works of doing a auto and flat.
When are you thinking about doing
So,
it?
that's going to be coming up pretty soon. We're trying to lock down a date, hopefully later on this year.
And where would it be at?
Probably be in Atlanta. Miller's. We did last one last August in Miller's. So we're thinking about going back to them because they have a really nice facility. They just actually did the MOB event there. So we're thinking about hosting another training event. This is going to be more for mid and advanced techniques. So guys that want to, pick up on speed, want to learn some extra tips and tricks, but also understand some of the business aspects. So like last time we had Tin Wiz doing the CRM, we had Core showing the software, we had Marissa doing the sales. So like something where you can get some of the business aspects, some of the hands-on training, and kind of do something with that. So just keep that in mind if you ever want any of your guys to kind of, especially since you're in Alabama.
Keep me in the loop. Count me in. I definitely like if it comes to how we have tenders for a cause and whatnot. Like if I gotta take my guys out for a week and go tint cars because we're trying to raise them, and then we'll go. I kind of like that's my goal. Trying to get into the industry, trying to like help back. That's what I want to do.
Well, I'm really hoping like how Sunstroppers did their world record where they did like so many cars in a day. We did something for that last year with John Little's when John Little passed away. That was freaking a good cause, and a lot of guys came in. A lot of people did it at their own shop, so that was a really good community set up. I don't wish that on anybody, but I love how the community comes in and does stuff. So, but hopefully we can do one for Turner for Cause, maybe like that, something, maybe Dean and Mike Watson and some of the people at Turner for Cause be like, hey, if you guys want to do a event like something like that, that can just kind of rally up some people. But yeah, I mean, definitely mindset is out there open for.
Before we like go, and I don't want to get too sad. We did have a fellow flat glass installer pass away this past week. He went to WFCT with me. There was a guy that went with me. Yeah, he was one of my best friends that came into the tinted world. He died in a car accident, and his dad has a flat glass company. He was one of the flat guys here in Birmingham.
Oh shoot!
I know.
I'm sorry to hear that. Who was the gentleman?
His name was Connor Fagan. He was. I have a picture with Carlos and him. Whenever we went to WFCT, it was just me and him that we went to WFCT. He didn't compete. He was wanting to compete, but he was the one who recorded me. We were there. We were like. He met you as well, Cash, when we went to Chattanooga.
Really?
Yeah.
Connor?
Yes. Let me see if I can show up a picture.
I'm more of a face guy, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I'm bad with names.
No, you're good. He was trying to get
when Fernando talked about you, I was like, I had no idea. But then as soon as I saw your picture, I'm like, dude, I met him at I was like, I met him. Nice kid. He's got good energy. That's when I was like, hey,
we were there with Carlos. You see?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was thinking of getting into.
When did this happen?
This past week.
Oh man, so sorry about that, bro. Like,
yeah. And then my second boss, the one where I really learned a lot, that he was the one that called me and let me know.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that was hard. It was very hard.
It's man, losing people in the industry, like we talked about, making friends and family. It's a great thing, but at the same time, when you have a bigger family and friends like that, it also hits home hard a little bit. Especially right now, like we have few other people in the industry that are fighting cancer, that are going through some illness. And it's kind of sad to see that. It's kind of hard on it, but accidents, especially young people like him, man, that's Man,
I know.
that's
Like
hard,
I
bro.
said, things like that, that's why Cali Customs, the name Cali, where it came from, all of it. That's the reason why I have my cousins close to me. There's always a purpose behind it. So, with us, at least, speaking of behalf of Cali Customs, if we ever need any support, y'all just keep me in the loop. More than happy to, kind of help out, um, training, whatever it is. I'm more than happy to go out.
Yeah, I mean, dude, let's keep that communication open, bro. Like, I'll show you my
I'm
number
like
and
two and
stuff.
a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours away from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you know, so yeah, definitely, dude. Like, I'm sorry to hear that, man. They're always, sorry. That's hard, man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry about your friend. My condolences to you and his family. That young people, man. That's just. I've got kids now, and I always imagine my kids as that. It's the toughest thing is a parent putting their kid into the ground. That's, I think, the toughest thing in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
So condolences to everybody, man. So
No, I
any
appreciate it.
last words that you want to finish off with? We really appreciate you coming on here. Like I said, I definitely would,
Right.
um, like to get you back on in about after you had your baby. So that way we can kind of talk about you being a new dad and, talk about where you kind of been through your
Y'all probably
process.
see me in August. I may go to WFCT. And,
I may see you there. Like I said, I'm gonna try my best to
yeah,
be there, and I'm gonna try to go compete as well, and just have fun. Even if I don't do well, I just want to have fun. I definitely gotta. If I get it okay, then I gotta start training because I haven't hand cut it in forever last year. But I gotta get that process
yeah.
down. So I gotta put the ass back in and on my coaching team. Like, hey, let's go.
Yeah. Right.
But no, man, really appreciate you. Last words. Go ahead. Mike is yours.
No, I appreciate the invite with all y'all. And just my biggest thing is my goal is just let's inspire the new generation. Film Fest is it's about bringing every tenor together. So I feel like now we should try to tackle these new generations coming up, the new window tenors coming into play, the new wrap installers, PBF installers, anybody in the new industry. If one can do it, anybody can do it. And the world
Love
is
it.
no limit.
Love it. That's literally what film is there for, is to be the film industry leaders and mentors, especially
Correct.
to the young kids. And I have the same feeling on that as if I can teach somebody to not make the mistakes that I made, um, that's what I want for this industry. I want to pass that on to the newer generation, whether they're young or older, it doesn't matter. It's just, but we have a lot of young, talented people coming in, and I love how the industry is taking them and guiding them. It's awesome. But at the
Correct.
same time, we're learning. Like I said, we need to learn from each other, man. Like, I want to learn some stuff from you guys.
Yeah.
I really appreciate everything.
Yeah.
Christian,
Check out my
thank you so
Instagram.
much. Huh?
Check out my Instagram and let me know how it is.
Dude, I suck at Instagram, so I got to get on Instagram. I got to get some tips and tricks
Just
from
search
you.
Cali Customs. Customs with the Z at the end, not an S.
Customs with a Z. Okay, I got you. I got you, definitely. Ryan, any last words from you?
No, just good to see you again, Christian, and thanks for coming on, and see you all later, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Have a great night, guys. Love y'all. Stay positive.